3D.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
Okay, I want to get this out of the way first. If you use generative AI, you are scum. Now, let's try this again. 3D modeling, or 3D art as a whole, is a complex topic. You can focus on traditional art and composition, pure modeling, texturing, tiling texturing, shader creation, character art, sculpting, architecture visualization, product rendering. It's just too much to count. But of course, something that has the commonalities across all of these topics is the dreaded subject of optimization. And this is what I want to tackle in this video. Tries versus quads and the relation to optimization. I will make more videos that are more focused on a singular area of 3D, but this is one I think that needs highlighting, especially for newcomers. People pour years and years of their lives into this art form, and there are many more people just starting out. Maybe you're one of them. With being new to something comes the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And as such, are led to believe different, often contradictory things by authoritative figures in the scene. And I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but there are heaps and heaps of YouTube videos out there that claim to be the foremost authority on the 3D modeling pipeline. You may have heard some of these claims yourself. Quads are king, tries are bad. You must stick to the best modeling practices known to man, and this is what they are. Baking? What's baking? Texturing is an afterthought. I mean, presentation doesn't really matter. I'm here to try to spread a little light on some of these claims. I'm no industry veteran with 50 years of experience, but I've had experience working on collaborative projects with other people, sometimes for profit, sometimes for the fun. I've lived this topic for the past 5 years of my life, and I've created some great and some not so great art in my time. Anyhow, let's get started with the first topic. The first and probably most talked about, most passionate thing I've seen people talk about in YouTube comments, Instagram comments, and just all over the 3D art space is quads versus tries. And, you know, how this all relates to topology. People really have their minds made up on this topic in one way or the other. I've seen this just across the internet. I would like to shine a little bit of a light, something that I've learned over my time modeling and working with people. Many of you might think, you know, quads are amazing, they're the gold standard and that's all you should be modeling. I'm gonna be super honest, what you probably expect to be good, quote-unquote, topology is probably terrible topology. And the other way around too. What you might think is terrible topology might actually be decent, or even good topology. The question that naturally arises is, why do beginners think this? Quads are great, and they look super pleasing to the little light collectors in your skull, and tingle the brain just right when everything is nicely and evenly spaced. They're so helpful when doing subdivision modeling, and they're even better for animators. But what they're not great for is performance and optimization. They can balloon your try count quickly if you're not careful. Let me show you some real examples of meshes from real games, and let's think about what they're being used for. Let's look at this hunk of meat, Kratos, an absolute staple of gaming. When you look at this, you see nothing but quads. Now, why is this, you may ask? The reason is simple. He's a character, and characters, they tend to move, quite a lot actually, especially around the face. This goes back to one of the things that we talked about earlier, the advantages of quads. Animation. See, as meshes move, triangles tend to become jaggedy and freaky looking, but quads tend to retain their smoothness.
But wait!
I hear you crying.
Why are there triangles on his forehead?
This is where things get a little bit more complicated. When you have a game like God of War, you want absolute fidelity in the cinematic cutscenes. Close-ups of faces talking and wrinkles forming. You just can't get that out of something with less topology. But not everywhere on the head moves like a mouth or eyes. Thus, this is where the optimization comes in. This is called tri-fanning, and I rarely see this being utilized or talked about by beginners online. It's a fantastic technique. It's almost a second nature thing for most modelers. But I rarely see trifanning discussed online when talking about game models or optimization, even though it's such an important tool to have. The basics of trifanning is this. Triangles make fan. Fan is spread out on one side, tight on the other. This lets you create a side with high mesh density and a side with lower density, and this is exactly what we see on Kratos' head, and allows for optimization in such a high fidelity scene. As a little recap, quads like moving, tris don't, and characters usually move, so you see a lot more quads than characters usually. Triangle is very good for optimizing, so use them sparsely to optimize your character models. With all this said, there's still one big caveat to be said here, and that is that no matter how you model, with quads, with tris, however, it all gets triangulated in the end. If you put it into an engine, in your modeling software of choice, Blender, Max, Maya, all quads are made of tris. It's unavoidable. And with that said, let's move on. Now we get something on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. This is a prop meant to be put in an environment. No deformation, and as you can see, there's tons of triangles all over the place. Is this bad? No, not at all. It's actually probably the best way of going about it. Another important thing about modeling for games is keeping consistency of mesh density. You don't want a really sparse mesh with random super high density bits and bobs. It's best to keep things at a similar density, and it's good for working with, and it's good in terms of optimization for a game. When working with props, it's also important to start thinking about workflow in how you make them. With characters, it's kind of backwards, where you make a high poly first and retop onto a low poly. With props, there's a whole bunch of ways you can go about making them. Are you doing subdivision? Are you doing a mid poly? Low poly? These all change how you'll be making them and what your final outcome is going to look like for games. Optimizing for time is actually really important as well, especially when you're in a working environment, and subdivision modeling is notoriously slow. You really need to keep an eye out for your topological flow. Sometimes this is extremely important for meshes, sometimes not so much. Here's an example of a prop I made one time. It looks terrible, doesn't it? I mean, look at it. There's topology everywhere, there's no consistent flow or anything. However, it serves a purpose. It's a stepping stone in the workflow. This mesh is not going to be used past this point. It's never going to be in a game. The whole purpose of this mesh is to get a clean surface for baking. Then, we have the real clean optimized mesh. Again, this isn't made to look pretty. It's just another vessel for the real work, the texture. The key misconception here is the whole modeling of this should have been clean, all the way through. But when working with a tight deadline, you can't afford to make everything visually pretty at a technical standpoint. This is not the point of 3D modeling. And a lot of time, different types of workflows don't even allow for this. Take for example, ZBrush Dynameshing. There's also tons of counterexamples for this workflow, and different kinds of props that wouldn't work with the workflow like this. That's the beauty of prop art. You need to be such a versatile and diverse artist to really work with props at a professional level. It's an extremely high skill job. Now, weapons. Weapons are a complex topic, and it's what I like to make the most. This is my bread and butter. This is where I thrive. I'm a hard surface weapon artist at heart. So here, I do have a good bit of experience, and I can speak with some authority on this. Weapons are such an amazing example of mesh density, triangle usage, and strange workflows that can work surprisingly well. This is a great example of a real-time weapon made by my friend. And you can see just how triangulated everything is. There's no unnecessary topology in places where there doesn't need to be, and trifanning is used to optimize an otherwise highly detailed mesh. Again, tris are not bad to use when making models. They are no worse or better than quads. It's all about context. So again, it's bad to make sweeping statements like this.
3 corners? Okay. 4 corners are great. N corners are a mess to work with, and in a collaborative context, you'd be burned alive.
It's just not true.
Don't make up triangles. Triangles are really hard to work with. You should try and make your model quads.
This one's egregious. LinkedIn of all places. This is the professional space, right, guys? I see some N-gons. And then the author responds with, "Thanks, David. Yes, there are plenty of them." Here's some more fun ones I really like.
Rage baiting with that topo. It can easily be quadded out. Easily.
Laughing emoji.
Bro, why topology?
Is that a triangle? Topology rage bait.
Why am I doing this? There's no single solution to all your problems. No magical tutorial that will teach you when to use quads and triangles appropriately. It's all about taking the time and considering where you can apply things that you've learned. To all the new artists entering this field, I wish you good luck, and I hope that you don't give up. 3D art is such a varied, expressive form of creation that you can really make an impact with. No matter who tells you what, stick to your gut and be an artist first and foremost. This is one hell of a journey to venture, and if you do, you might stumble upon some amazing people, get through tough times, and improve yourself as a human being. Now, please stay tuned! Halfway through the script I realized one video is not going to be enough to get through everything I wanted, so I'm going to make this a little bit of a series. This one's focused on the modeling side, next one I want to talk about texturing, then another one about presentation, lighting, composition, that kind of stuff. And here's the obligatory...
Please like this video and subscribe for more.
See ya. Just one more thing. Before I go, I need to say thank you to John, the creator of the fantastic music you were listening in the background. It's a Mario 64 rendition of Masayoshi Takanaka's Rainbow Goblin album. It's fantastic. He's done a great job. Oh, they've done a great job. I'm not one to assume. So, thank you. And thank you to all the artists that were shown in this video. I tried to show off some amazing work that the community has made, and I hope that it inspires you. It's beautiful work, all of it, and I am very, very happy to have seen and come across all of it. See you for real this time.